It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you, wherever you may be. Final meeting of the year between the Dodgers and the Rockies. The Dodgers have won 9 of the 17, trying to clinch the series today and extend their winning streak to 6. When Colorado arrived here, they had a 5-game winning streak, and they were even talking about battling back into contention, but it hasn't worked. Typical for Colorado, they beat the Dodgers 6 out of 9 in Denver, but the Dodgers have not only returned the favor, they've won 6 of the 8 played here. Today, Ulysses Yassin will be on the mound for Colorado, and the Dodgers will counter with young Nathan Eovaldi. Coming in tomorrow night, it will be the San Diego Padres. But today's the day. We'll get to the ball game right after this. Dodger Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Hyundai. People are talking about Hyundai Uncensored. See what they're saying at mysocalhyundai.com. By 76 Gasoline. We're on the driver's side. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T.
And welcome back, everybody. Dodgers baseball as they try to sweep the Colorado Rockies on a toasty Sunday afternoon. And, well, Matt Kemp last night, just ridiculous. It's actually beast mode. It's our Hyundai key to the game. And, Steve, I hope they keep pitching him in crucial situations.
Yeah, you know, there's no real reason not to because this team continues to not be a team that's just going to knock the walls down every night out. I wouldn't have pitched to him maybe right there. When he can beat you by himself, then you don't pitch to him. But he's had such a fantastic year. But he and I have had some conversations lately about making sure that you keep it going. It's great to have a good year up until September, and then a lot of guys can fade then. I think he understands that he needs to keep the pedal to the metal. The numbers that he's throwing up is ridiculous, especially his average and also the stolen bases. Everyone talks about MVP candidates. Nobody's hitting 323 except Reyes, and Braun's probably not going to be in the conversation. Maybe he's pretty good. But at the end of the day, there's not too many guys up there 323 also have the stolen bases and just powers out the home runs. Tied for the league lead with Pujols now with 31 homers, and he's going to hit more before it's done.
You know, and the RBI is just 2 behind Fielder, right? And the last Dodger to lead the National League in RBI, you got to go back to Tommy Davis in 1962.
That's a long time back. And the good thing about those numbers that he's throwing up, especially the average at 323, if he doesn't hit a home run and clear the bases, he's getting hits so that guys behind him can drive him in, and it makes him a much better team player when he's not knocking the ball out of the ballpark.
Never takes a day off. 337 consecutive this afternoon. Vin's got the call next.
Ticket is brought to you by Chase, with over 16,000 ATMs nationwide and more on the way. Take a step forward and chase what matters. By Chrysler. Visit us at Chrysler.com or see your local dealer today. And by Time Warner Cable. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Sunday to you wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers and the Rockies closing out their year's work against each other. The Dodgers holding an edge 9-8, and this will be the 18th to decide whether they split or whether the Dodgers clinch the season series. If the Dodgers win today, they also clinch the series. They have breezed, having won 6 out of 8 here at Dodger Stadium. For the Colorado Rockies and the Dodgers, they know it is hot. It's not going to be talked about very much. And believe it or not, you might have fallen into the same trap I did about Colorado and Denver. When you go to that lovely area and have never been there before, you're inclined to think, oh, I'm going to get that clear, cool mountain air. Well, believe me, it can get as hot as blazes in Denver. So they're equal to the same kind of weather and the same challenge. Here's Jim Tracy's lineup. Dexter Fowler in center field, Jonathan Herrera at second base, Carlos Gonzalez in right field, Troy Tulowitzki the shortstop, Seth Smith in left, Ty Wigginton at first, Kevin Kuzminov batting seventh at third, Eliezer Alfonso behind the plate, and Ulysses Chacin on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, a kid growing up in Alvin, Texas, so certainly he's accustomed to the heat. That would be Nathan Eovaldi. He is 6'3", 190, and he is only 21 years old. He lives in Alvin, which is about 35 miles southwest of Houston, and at one time, 4 years ago, Nathan had Tommy John surgery. If you wonder about Alvin, well, there's the Nolan Ryan Junior High School. There's the Nolan Ryan Expressway, that would be 288, and there is the Nolan Ryan Museum. So he arrives here with some pretty good knowledge of a wonderful pitcher, and he'll put it on display. By the way, when we take to the Dodger lineup today, we have to follow the story, and the story is the fact that in right field you have Trent Olson and not Andre Ethier. And if you happen to read the papers, the LA Times this morning, you might have read T.J. Simer's column and some quotes from Andre Ethier. So we then had the interview typed out on Don Mattingly and his remarks about Andre Ethier's comments. But let's save that until the Dodgers are coming up. Right now, we'll take a look at Dexter Fowler, followed by Jonathan Herrera, and then Carlos Gonzalez. Though Andre Ethier not here, I believe he is having his foot checked. And the first pitch to Dexter Fowler, down and away, ball one, 1-0. Certainly the Rockies are improved offensively a little bit with today's lineup. When they have Eric Young and Fowler in the same lineup, you have two of the three outfielders without even a home run. So they figure to be a little stronger. Fowler still without a home run. But when you look at Carlos Gonzalez and Seth Smith, it's another story. Meanwhile, young Eovaldi is behind now, 3-0 the count. And if you are interested in such a thing, the temperature right now at Dodger Stadium is 90 degrees. The 3-0 pitch coming up to Fowler is taken for a strike, 3-1. We are very fortunate that despite the 90-degree weather, we have a beautiful breeze coming off the lake in center field. You can see the palm trees swaying in the breeze as Fowler swings and misses. And what? Oh, it's a mirage. Oh, okay. 3-2 the count to Dexter Fowler. The fans are here and literally doing just that. Into the windup goes Eovaldi, back with a fastball, foul back. And of course, on any day it's important, but on a very hot day like today, the pitch count will really be watched by both managers. So Ulysses Chassin and Nathan Eovaldi with San Diego coming in tomorrow night. 3-2 pitch on the way. Nathan deals back. So on a hot night, probably the worst thing you want to see is a pitcher and a hitter, and the hitter keeps fouling them off. So Eovaldi, who throws hard, trying to put Fowler down. 3-2 the count. Fowler has struck out 110 times and takes ball 4. So Eovaldi losing a speedster on a 3-2 pitch. Fowler runs well, but he is not a good base runner. Not yet, anyway. He might have stolen 8 bases, but he's been caught 9 times. However, Fowler is aboard, and now you have Jonathan Herrera, followed by Carlos Gonzalez. Herrera hitting .240. He has 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Appeared briefly Friday night as a pinch hitter and popped up. So Herrera, hitting in the 240s, has a look at the first pitch. That's in for a strike, and the count 0-1. For Jonathan Herrera, he had a 2-run home run a few days ago against Houston. Turned out to be the game-winning RBI. He had gone 156 at bats before he hit the home run. The throw to first and Fowler back. Dexter Fowler makes a lot of outs on the bases. As we said, he is 8-9 trying to steal. But he does have the speed. They're just going to have to teach him the movements. And of course, he has a couple of good ones to show him just how to get down to second. Meanwhile, Herrera fouls a pitch away, and the count 0 balls and 2 strikes. We do have a light breeze, no mirage there. It's blowing left to right. The flag's in center field, rippling a little bit. psychologically it makes you feel a little better. I don't know if it actually makes you feel better, but you look at the flags and you think, well, there's a little breeze up there. 0-2 the count. Evaldi ready, comes back inside, and that's fouled back, and the count remains 0-2. If you look at the stadium, you immediately think there are a lot of empty seats, and that is true. But actually, a lot of people have moved back under the overhangs to get shade. It's as if it were raining and they were looking for cover. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Evaldi ready. Here he comes, very high. Ball 1. So after walking Fowler, after giving up a bunch of pitches to Fowler, he's already made 12, and he has a runner at first, nobody out, and the big boy Carlos Gonzalez on deck. So Evaldi looking in. 1-2 the count. Fowler short lead at first. Evaldi very deliberate now to the plate, and it's sliced foul outside of third. Tough pitch to handle down and in, and he kind of hit it inside out, which covers the expression of the modern day hitting coach. They always talk about a hitter staying inside the ball. Well, he was inside that pitch and slapped it the other way foul. 1-2 the count. Fowler at first. We're just starting. No score. Evaldi out of a stretch. Nathan ready. Throws to first. Fowler back to the bag. Jonathan Herrera has 3 bunts for base hits this year. But with 2 strikes, you don't expect him to lay one down, nor to sacrifice. The infield is back. And the 1-2 pitch coming up. Swung on and foul back. That is a big price for a pitcher to pay if the hitters continue to make contact. If they don't swing and miss once in a while, it's a very, very heavy burden. And that's the burden right now on Nathan Evaldi. 1-2 the count. Evaldi's next one is swung on, a high fly ball down the right field line. Olsen comes to the chalk at the stands, reaches in, and comes up empty. So the ball just did get in the seats, and the count 1-2, and Trent going back to his position in right field. Jonathan Herrera, interesting. When the count is even, he's a 300 hitter. When he's ahead of the count, he hits less than 200. Well, he's behind the count now, and Evaldi trying to put him away. 1-2 pitch. Herrera fouls it back to the screen. So they're piling up now. 16 pitches so far, with Carlos Gonzalez waiting on deck. No score, just starting. Fowler, who walked at first. The 1-2 pitch to Jonathan Herrera. Nathan ready and delivers with Fowler going, and he fouls it off. So every foul ball doesn't figure in the box score, but it certainly is the silent enemy during a game. 1-2 the count. So far, when Fowler was up there, he fouled off a couple, went 3-2 and walked. Herrera now has fouled off 7, and he's seen 9 pitches. So 1-2 the count to Jonathan Herrera. Out of his stretch goes Evaldi. Back with a fastball, swung on and missed. So after all of that, down goes Herrera, and it'll bring up the amazing Carlos Gonzalez. It was a straight fastball, nothing fancy or fluky about it, and Herrera just couldn't catch up. So that's the first swing and a miss, and we have 1 out in the first inning. Carlos Gonzalez, among other things, had an RBI single in the 3rd inning yesterday. So he set a Rockies new franchise record, most consecutive games with an RBI, 11 straight. He broke the record previously held by Vinny Castilla, who had 10. Garrett Anderson had a 12-game RBI streak when he played. And Cargo, as they call him, fouls it back, and the count 0-1. Gonzalez hitting .295, 24 home runs, 86 runs batted in. A fall off from last year, but understandable. He had a very bad wrist. He finally had a cortisone shot around the All-Star break, And since then, he is the Carlos Gonzalez. He is the cargo, and valuable cargo he is. The strike one pitch to the left-hand batter, a check swing. He falls away, but it's going to cost a strike, and the count 0-2. Jerry Lane is the plate umpire, wearing all the tools. That's a tough assignment in the heat. And in case you wonder, Bob Davidson, who had to leave the game dehydrated yesterday, Bob is back and umpiring at first, with Hunter Wendelstedt and Brian Knight finishing out the foursome. 0-2 the count to Gonzalez. Evaldi a throw to first. That scared first base coach Glenn Allen Hill. I think he thought if it eluded Loney, he might get hit by it. So 0-2 the count as Glenn Allen, who, by the way, was the first coach that I know of to wear a helmet. But again, a helmet, nothing with an ear flap to really protect the vital area. Strike two pitch, low and inside. Gonzalez checking, fighting himself, falls away. Brian Knight umpiring at third, indicating no swing. So Carlos Gonzalez waiting. A remarkable player who figures to be around a long time. He signed a 7-year deal with the Rockies. Had a Gold Glove last year. He also hit for the cycle last year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Runner goes, missed at the plate, swinging. The throw down is not in time. Kind of a high tag on the throw by Justin Sellers, and Fowler, who is 6'4", the foot got to the bag before the tag. So Gonzalez strikes out. The throw down, had it been lower, they might have gotten him, but not when it was up above Sellers' shoulders. So we have two out. Daddy Longlegs, Dexter Fowler is in there with his 9th stolen base. So he's break even, 9 for 18. And now the one-man gang, Troy Tulowitzki. Yesterday, Tulowitzki hit 2 home runs, 6th time in his career. First time he's done it this year. With his 2 home run, 4 RBI game, he is really putting up some big numbers for Colorado, and he takes the strike. He's 2 home runs shy of his second career 30 home run season, 7 RBIs shy of his first career 100 RBI season. 4 ribbies yesterday, that gave him 36 since the All-Star break, which for that period leads the National League. Strike one pitch on the way. Troy looks at a breaking ball that's on the outside corner. 0-2. We mentioned this a couple of times Friday night, and it certainly held up. A lot of times Tulowitzki is called out on strikes, and Friday night he struck out twice, called out each time. So let's see. 0-2. Evaldi comes back, swung on and foul back. For Tulowitzki, I guess you could say he's a hot weather player. In his career, in April, 240, in May, 267, in June, 290, in July, 323, in August, 332, in September, 304, and October, 320. The strike two pitch on the way. Troy swings, lashes it to left. Coming up, making a diving, rolling attempt is Gwynn, but he can't hold on to the ball. The run scores, and Tulowitzki picks up the RBI. For Troy, has 94 runs batted in. And for Tony Gwynn, so near and yet so far. Charging the sinker, went down on his knee, never really had the glove on the ball. So it's a base hit for Troy, a run batted in, and the Rockies are on the board to lead 1-0. Now the batter is Seth Smith. The Tulowitzki at first. We mentioned the difference in the Colorado outfield when you're playing Seth Smith. He is Mr. Extra Base Hit. Left-hand batter waiting. He has 26 doubles, 7 triples, and 15 home runs. The left-hand hitter takes a strike. Went to school at Ole Miss. He's from the state. Former quarterback behind Eli Manning. 15 home runs and 54 runs batted in. Evaldi set, looks over at Tulo. Back he comes to Smith, works it in for a strike at the knees, and the count 1-1 strike. Seth Smith rarely, if ever, swings at the first pitch. One reason is In his past, when he does, he hits about $160. The 1-1 pitch coming up to Seth. Eovaldi delivers on the hand, swung on and missed. 1-2. For Seth Smith, with 2 down, a run in on a walk and a 2-out single by Tulowitzki. Tula, of course, gives you a lot to think about at first. He's stolen 9 out of 12. Eovaldi turns and throws to first. Well, we talked about the foul balls and how they mount up. Nathan Eovaldi will be making his 30th pitch here in the first inning on a 90-degree first inning as well. 1-0 Colorado. Eovaldi, high set, ready, comes back. Smith hits a little flare into shallow right. Out for it and not able to get it is Carroll. And it'll drop for the hit. Tulowitzki stops at second. And Ty Wigginton will be coming up. It was a little too much to ask Todd Helton to start today, a hot Sunday after going all day yesterday. So Ty Wigginton, who can play third base, left field, and first base, and Wigginton playing first base for Todd Helton. Wigginton, contrary, let's say, to Seth Smith, likes to hit early in the count if he can. If he puts that first pitch in play, he's hitting .319. So we'll see what Ty does right now. Wigginton, born in San Diego, lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. I bet he was worrying about Hurricane Irene. The first pitch to him is down and away, backhanded by Barajas, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Ty Wigginton. So Tulowitzki has stolen 9 out of 12. Smith has stolen 7 out of 8. So the Dodgers can't take anything for granted right now on the 1-0 pitch, down and away, ball 2. Hitting behind Wigginton is Kevin Kuzminov. 2-0 the count. Eovaldi looks down the barrel to get a sign from Barajas. Now Nathan is ready. His 2-0 pitch on the way to the right-hand batter. Wigginton fouls it back right into Barajas' mask. So he is struggling out there as Eovaldi because of all these pitches. And Wigginton waiting 2-1 to count. However, he is 21 years old. He's made 33 pitches. And he looks in now with a 2-1 count to Ty Wigginton. The next one to Ty is a breaking ball slider off the plate. 3-1 to count. 2 out first inning. Herrera and Gonzalez struck out. Eovaldi, right foot on the rubber, looks in, reading Barajas. Tulowitzki at second, Smith at first, 2 out. 3-1 pitch instead is a turn and a look. Eovaldi keeping an eye on Tulowitzki. As I said, both base runners run very well, very successfully. That's even more important. So 2 on with a 3-1 count. Let's see. Eovaldi ready. The runners stay. The fastball is low, and the bases are loaded. Well, we told the story Friday night, and here he is now in the first inning. So we got time. Honeycutt's going to the mound. Kevin Kuzminov, like a lot of players, several, can tell the grandkids that he made a debut like no other in baseball history. September the 2nd, 2006 in Arlington, Texas, Kuzminov hit the first pitch he ever saw for a Grand Slam home run. There are a few others who have hit one in their first at bat or in their first game, but Kevin Kuzminov was the first ever to hit a Grand Slam on the very first pitch he ever saw. The pitcher was Edinson Volquez. The slam made a winner of Cliff Lee that night. And by the way, one of the runners on base when Kevin hit the home run, Dodger Casey Blake. Well, here's Kuzminov. Look out for the first pitch. Bases loaded, 2 out, 1-0 Rockies. Out of his stretch goes Eovaldi. Comes to Kuzminov, who sure enough, first pitch, but lifts it into shallow right. Coming in a hurry, trying to make a diving catch is Olchin. He can't make it. 2-run score. Here comes the third on a pop fly into shallow right center field. So the Rockies have Kuzminov lift one just into shallow right. Tulowitzki scored, Smith scored, Wigginton scored, and stopping at second is Kuzminov. Carroll kept going looking for help, and diving at the ball was Olchin, unable to make it. So it's a pop fly double for Kuzminov. More importantly now, the Rockies have 4 runs here in the first inning. The number 8 man in the lineup will be Alfonso. We'll have to look back at the tape before the pitch to Kuzminov. Pitch is low, ball 1 at the plate, to see just where Olchin was. With Kuzminov, you would expect that he'd be shading him a bit, maybe towards right center. But one way or another, Trent had a long way to come. Carroll went a long way out. Neither one could make it. So 4-0 Colorado. Alfonso hitting .242. Right hand hitting catcher, and he lines it to right. Olchin over to play it on a bounce. Here comes Kuzminov on his way to score, and just like that, the Rockies hang a high 5 on the scoreboard. For young Nathan Eovaldi, he can feel the heat now for sure. It might have been hot when he was warming up. It got hotter as the hitters were fouling pitches off and piling the pitches up. But now a pop fly with the bases loaded, a line drive single for another base hit to right for yet a 5th run, and the Rockies well out in front. Dodger bullpen is just now getting somebody up, and Eovaldi is now facing Ulysses Chassin, and the pitch down and away, ball 1. They get the Hawk up early. Blake Hawksworth begins to loosen up here in the first inning. 5-0 Colorado. Out of a stretch goes Eovaldi. The right-handed fastball is fouled back. 1-1 the count to Ulysses Chassin. Chassin, right-hand batter as he pitches. Ulysses is from Venezuela, from Maracaibo. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Eovaldi's fastball is lined at Loney. Boy, that thing was ripped. So 40 pitches later, Nathan Eovaldi walks off the mound. It is 5-0 Colorado. Key, the fact there were 13 foul balls. The other was the fact the Rockies scored all their runs, 5 with 2 out. Here's the Dodger lineup. Tony Gwynn in left, Justin Sellers at short. Then you have Kemp and Loney. Aaron Miles at third, Barajas, Olchin in right field, Jamie Carroll at second, Nathan Eovaldi on the mound, Ulysses Chassin on the mound for Colorado. But now, as we get to the first inning, we would like to talk a little bit more about Don Mattingly and read some of the things that Mattingly had said during the press conference relative to the T.J. Simers column and Andre Ethier, and we'll try and do it in between pitches. Tony Gwynn hitting .257, 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in, and the left-hand hitter starting off against Chassin. Ulysses' first pitch in for a strike. First thing that Mattingly said, I was kind of blindsided by the article. I read it as a guy saying, meaning Ethier, he can't play, and we're saying you're playing anyway. The strike one pitch swung on, ground ball inside first, down the line. So Gwynn is on his way for an extra base hit. Might not stop at second. Nope. He's on his way to third. He'll make it standing with a triple. So Tony Gwynn triples inside first and down the line. And boy, a rabbit was loose. That was his 4th triple of the year. And the batter will be Justin Sellers. Okay, let's get back to Mattingly. I read it as a guy saying he can't play, and we're saying you're playing anyway. That takes a shot at the organization, the training staff, Ned, meaning Coletti, and me personally. I'd never send a guy out on the field that was in jeopardy. I'd never do that. I'm always going to protect my players. More after Sellers and his disposition. 5-0 Rockies, first inning. Chassin ready, deals, fastball pull foul, 0-1. Then Mattingly went on to say, but we checked with him. There have been times where I've told him he's out of the lineup the next day, and he's argued his way back in. He wanted to keep playing. But he said he's never told anyone here that he can't play. He acknowledged that it, meaning the article, came out wrong. 0-1 the count to Justin Sellers. A breaking ball swung on and missed, 0-2. Mattingly said, if you tell me you are hurt, you won't play. His statement's off base. It makes it look like we would jeopardize a player's health to save a few dollars. I mean, come on. How it looks to the rest of the world isn't all right with me. The remarks concerning T.J. Simers' column, including the quotes attributed to Andre Ethier and Ned Coletti. And that's what happened before the game even started. And then the sky fell down in the first inning, and the Rockies lead 5-0. So the Dodgers trying to dig their way out. Gwynn at third, Sellers at the plate, and Kemp on deck. Chassin ready. Ulysses delivers, waved at and fouled away. Another hard breaking ball down and away. Ulysses Chassin, well put together. He's 6'3", 200, only 23, as we mentioned, from Maracaibo. He has been particularly tough against the Dodgers. In 21 innings this year, he's allowed 1 earned run. That makes his ERA against the Dodgers 0.43. Wow. The 1-2 pitch to Justin Sellers. Chassin delivers and is a fly ball foul down the line out of play. So Gwynn holds at third. Last year, which was Chassin's rookie year, he finished up brilliantly. In his final 9 starts, he was 4-2 and an earned run average of 1.4. So maybe he hasn't had quite the breakout year that they expected, but he certainly is developing. Right-hander deals on the hands, and that's fouled away, and the count stays 1-2. Chassin is 10-10, a little bit better at home, 6-4. Meanwhile, Justin Sellers trying to stay alive at the plate, foul off a bunch, maybe turn the tables that way on the Rockies, who did the number on Eovaldi. Gwynn down the line from third. 1-2 the count to Justin Sellers. Chassin ready, a high set. Now deals, and the pitch is promptly banged into center. Base hit, and a run batted in for Justin. Gwynn brings it home for Sellers, very quietly going to work. That's his 8th RBI. He was hitting .265. So Sellers a single to center. Gwynn scores easily, and the Dodgers get one of them back. And now Matt Kemp coming up. So Matt Kemp, who is without a doubt a group picture for the Dodgers and a group picture in the league, he has done so much, hitting .323, 31 home runs, 100 runs batted in, and for good measure 33 stolen bases. And a walk-off home run yesterday, his 3rd of the year. He has 6 in his career. Out of his stretch goes Chacin, and the fastball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. What I think is most interesting about the T.J. Simers article, there are no arguments about anything having been misquoted. Nothing. So they're in agreement. All the words obviously were said. T.J. wrote him down and printed it. The pitch down and away to Matt Kemp. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Don Mattingly, who has done a wonderful job under a lot of stress. Players are paid to win. Players want to win. Players live to win. And when you have a ball club struggling, somehow or other, he's kept them all together. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Chacin deals, and that one is a strike at the knees. 1-2. Chacin basically a fastball up to maybe 95, curve, slider, and a great changeup, which he just threw to Matt Kemp. So 1-2 the count to the Dodgers center fielder. Chacin again out of his stretch. Sellers at first. 5-1 Rockies first inning. And the pitch to Matt is taken low and away in the dirt. New ball put in play, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you are listening to this ball game outdoors, please do yourself a big favor. Wear a hat, sunblock, and drink a lot of water. I mean a lot of water. So you make a lot of visits to the water closet, but nevertheless, better the inner tide than to go dry as Kemp chases a pitch low and strikes out. So down goes Matt, and that'll bring up James Loney.
First baseman number 7, James Loney.
James Loney yesterday hit his home run in the 9th inning to give the Dodgers the tying run. In the month of August, Loney is hitting .381. And of course, he's up against his favorite team, the Colorado Rockies. He's hitting .362 against Colorado, and 6 of his 8 home runs have come against Rockies pitching. So Loney ready to work against Chacin and vice versa, and he handles Chacin pretty well. He takes ball 1. Loney is 6 for 20. That would be a .300 batting average, and he has a half a dozen runs batted in. So we have 1 out, first inning. The Rockies got 5, all with 2 out in the first inning. Dodgers so far have gotten 1. Sellers at first, Chacin out of his stretch, and Loney waiting with Miles on deck. The 1-0 pitch swung on, foul back upstairs to the left, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. 5 runs, 4 hits for the Rockies. They did it the odd way. The leadoff man walked. The next 2 batters struck out, and it looked like Eovaldi might breeze through the inning, if you can use breeze on a day like today. Anyway, he did not breeze. 13 foul balls. 41 pitches later, he made his way to the dugout, down by 5. Loney takes low and inside at the ankles. So James up there with a hitter's count, 2-1. 1 out, first inning, and it is 5-1 in favor of Colorado. 2-1 the count to James Loney. Sellers at first, held on by Wigginton. The 2-1 pitch to Loney, ground ball to the hole on the right side, plugged up nicely by Herrera to make the play, and down to second goes Sellers. So 2 out in the first inning, and Aaron Miles coming up. Aaron Miles, who certainly has been a handy man all year, wherever they have played him, second or third, the majority of time at third. He's also been dynamic coming off the bench in the very tough role of a pinch hitter. He's hitting .500. So Aaron for the year batting .288. Switch hitter, batting left-handed against Chacin. And the right-handed delivers, in the first pitch low in the dirt, ball 1, 1-0. Aaron Miles hitting .288, hitting .296 right-handed and .286 left. 3 home runs, 2 hit right-handed. 1 ball and no strikes, the count. 5-1 Rockies first inning. Miles holds up, pitch a little high. 2-0 the count. Well, the days are indeed dwindling down, but certainly they don't like to be called spoilers, and yet the Dodgers will relish this situation. They have 12 games left with the Giants and with the Diamondbacks. The 2-0 pitch is high, ball 3. 6 with San Francisco, 6 with Arizona. Going into today, as you probably know, Arizona leading by 3 over the Giants. Arizona has won 5 in a row. The Giants have won 2 in a row, and Mattingly and company can have something to say about it. The 3-0 pitch to Miles, very high, ball 4. So Chacin is not getting away with an easy inning, and he now will face Rod Barajas. So Barajas checking in against Chacin. And looking at the past to find out about the present. Barajas 2 for 6. That would be a .333 batting average. 2 down, bottom of the first inning, 5-1 in favor of the Rockies. But the Dodgers have somebody who can get you 3 in a hurry now in Barajas. Rod, 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Chacin, by the way, has given up 19 home runs. He's right there with Jason Hamill. So the right-hander looks at the runners, and the boy from Maracaibo delivers and gets himself a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 to Rod Barajas. Rod checks back in. Chacin, long look in to get the sign. Now the strike 1 pitch coming up to Rod. Chacin delivers, and it is swung on and into the dirt. 0-2 the count. So Chacin has Barajas, no balls and 2 strikes. Big catcher, checking in about 2:30. Rod was born in Ontario. Grew up in Norwalk. Lives in Del Mar. And the strike 2 pitch swung on, high fly ball, the left center, but playable. Fowler is there to pick it off, and Barajas does what he normally does, hits the ball in the air, but this time not far enough. So the Dodgers get a run on 2 hits and lead 2, and at the end of an inning, 5-1 Colorado. Triple scored on Sellers' base hit. Dodgers get on the board, but they have a long way to go, and so do we. It's only the second inning. 5-1 Colorado. Dexter Fowler, Jonathan Herrera, Carlos Gonzalez in that order. On a day like this, the heat certainly figures to play somewhat of a part in the story, especially with the pitchers. Eovaldi made 41 pitches. Chacin made 25. And here's Fowler, who walked, stole a base, and scored a run. Eovaldi into the windup. The right-hander deals, and the first pitch high and away, ball one. I can only think of what it must have been like playing in the 20s and 30s before air conditioning. All those major league players, and they wore flannel uniforms, remember, not the thin uniforms away today. Heavy flannel. 1-1 the count to Jonathan Herrera. No air conditioning. If they were on the road, they'd go back to the hotel room and sweat just as much as they were doing in the ballpark. The pitch high, ball two, 2-1. I know I've told you the story of Ty Cobb coming home and his roommate was in the bathtub, and he literally threw the roommate out of the bathtub because he said, "I have to be first," which was the way he lived. Fowler swings, doesn't get it, 2-2. A lot of players, when they went back to that hotel room or their own home, whatever, without any air conditioning, they would pour water all over the mattress. The pitch to Fowler is high, ball 3-2. Another thing they tell me, which was very popular in the Texas League, they would take big cabbage leaves, soak the cabbage leaf, put it on your head, and then put your cap on top of that. Fowler, a long fly ball to left, but it's playable, and Gwynn's going to make the catch for the out. I remember one night in Milwaukee, it was like this, and we were in the Schrader Hotel, and a lot of the guys opened up the doors of the room. They had the majority of the team on one floor. They put a pillow just about outside in the hallway and slept that way on the floor because there wasn't a breath of air. Today, at least they know when it's over, they'll cool off. The pitch is high, ball one to Herrera. But even in the 50s, when Charlie Dressen was the manager of the Dodgers, Charlie had a battle cry. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, breaking ball for a strike. If the Dodgers won the game that day, they could have a beer. One beer, but you could have the beer. If you lost, no beer, a soda pop. The 1-1 pitch off the plate, ball two. And I remember so well in St. Louis, it was like 110. Ninth inning, and Roy Campanella, God bless his heart, came up with a couple of men on base and hit one downtown that was going to win the game. 2-1 pitch is low, ball three. And they tell me, because I couldn't hear it upstairs, as Campy rounded second, he was hollering, "Ice that beer, ice that beer." But what else they could do to fight the heat? Wasn't very much. 3-1 pitch, that's in there, 3-2. One away. We're in the top of the second inning. It is 5-1 Rockies. Young Eovaldi ready and comes back with a pitch lifted to left. That's playable. Gwynn is there waiting and makes the catch. Two fly balls to left field, 2 out in the second inning. Eovaldi coming off a 41 pitch first inning, so he could use a break. And here's Carlos Gonzalez. Gonzalez, who has hit safely in 13 straight, has driven in a run in 11 straight. Talking about that, we were talking about Garrett Anderson and a few others. Jorge Cantu had an RBI in 14 straight games for the Marlins. Off-speed pitch, and Cargo way out in front of it. 0-1 the count to Carlos Gonzalez. Gonzalez is only 25. I mean, he's established such memorable numbers. You'd think he's been around a long time. He's 25. The strike one pitch inside. That's why they signed him full of confidence to a 7-year deal. The mystery about Carlos Gonzalez, all you have to do is see him play 1 or 2 games. I mean, he has 5 tools. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, loop to center. Kemp coming up, but it's going to fall for a base hit. So Gonzalez has now hit in 14 straight with a 2-out single to center. The big surprise about Carlos Gonzalez, how in the world could he have been so badly misjudged? He was signed at the tender age of 16 by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And he went from Arizona to the Oakland A's. And they had him and let him get away. And finally, he really blossomed last year. 34 home runs, 117 runs batted in. And he is a remarkable player. So here's Tulo talking about remarkable. He backs away in the pitch inside, ball one. In the month of August for Troy Tulowitzki, well, June might be bursting out all over, but he's hitting 400 in August after hitting 352 in July. So Tulo has 8 home runs this month. His slugging percentage is .753. Ryan Braun at .591. There goes Gonzalez. The pitch low, the throw high. And Cargo steals second in the blink of an eye. He has now stolen 18 out of 22, and he had a good jump on Evaldi. So Nathan got the pitch low. Barajas came up firing, but it was way offline. So a stolen base, the second. Remember, Fowler stole in the first inning. Tulowitzki picked him up with a base hit in the first inning. Now he's trying to pick up Gonzalez. Troy having another wonderful year. 28 home runs, 94 runs batted in. Takes a strike. Tulo hitting .310. He's the dominating shortstop without a doubt. Certainly in the National League. And they have a couple of dandies, Jose Reyes, Hanley Ramirez, but this fellow wins the award for sure. Troy Tulowitzki. And for Tulo, he's only 25. Pickoff play at second, the throw not in time. Gonzalez just did get back. So Tulowitzki with a 2-ball 1-strike count. Carlos Gonzalez at second. They signed Cargo because he's so young. They signed Tulowitzki to a 10-year deal because of his age. Troy hit for the cycle 2 years ago. Just a marvelous player. 2-1. Evaldi's next pitch in at the knees for a strike. So again, he has 2 strikes. Now in the first inning, he had a 2-strike pitch and he singled a left. Now he's up there at 2-2. 2 out. 5-1 Rockies. Gonzalez at second base. Evaldi out of a stretch. Nathan ready. And delivers. Tulo swings and misses, and down he goes. So at least he wasn't called out on strikes. He strikes out for the 67th time. And at the end of an inning and a half, 5-1 Colorado. and a runner at first. Fowler. Tulowitzki singled home Fowler. Then Smith singled and Wigginton walked to load him up. Kushmanov's little fly ball dropped for a double, and all three scored, running with 2 out. And then Alfonso singled home Kuzminov, and the Rockies had 5. Now Trent Olchin takes a strike. Young fella from down under. And the strike one pitch on the way is swung on and missed. There's one thing about Australia. I've been there only once. And when we got into the hotel, I looked out the window and I saw miles and miles of pristine beach. But being redheaded, I looked and I had one thought. Where are the beach umbrellas? There was not a one. The pitch is inside ball 1. Oh, no, now the call by Jerry Lane is strike 3. So Olchin strikes out. Anyway, after seeing this great beach without any beach umbrellas, about a day later, reading the Australian Times, there was a huge article in the paper saying that Australia leads the world in skin cancer. And I thought, holy mackerel, I mean, wow. Here's Jamie Carroll, and he takes a strike. You should have seen me on the beach. I had a big hat, long sleeve shirt, towel around my neck. I really did, I've said this before, look like Katharine Hepburn in The African Queen. I had everything but mosquito netting on. That was really great. If I didn't have it, there'd have been a pile of ashes. 1-1 the count to Jamie Carroll. 5-1 Rockies. We're just, I was going to say warming up. I might. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Jamie takes a strike. On deck, Nathan Eovaldi. Ulysses Chassin trying to win his 11th. One ball and 2 strikes. Chassin ready, turns, comes back to his hitter, low. And a heck swing, and now it's going to be called strike 3. So Jamie Carroll tried to hold up. They punch him out, 2 down, and Eovaldi coming up. You know, a reminder, September 16th to the 18th, the Dodgers and Hello Kitty fans can receive a limited edition Hello Kitty collectible plush decked out in Dodger gear. Offer is available exclusively when you buy your tickets at Dodgers.com/Hello Kitty. 2 down, second inning. Here is Nathan Eovaldi. 5-1 in favor of the Rockies. And the first pitch a little low, ball 1. 1-0 to count. San Diego will be here tomorrow night, and that should be a dandy. Chassin ready, comes back to his hitter, and Eovaldi takes off the plate. Tomorrow night, Matt Latos and Clayton Kershaw. Then Tuesday, Tim Stauffer and Hiroki Kuroda, Tuesday night. Wednesday at 12:10, Wade LeBlanc and Ted Lilly. Chassin ready and delivers, and that is just outside. Jerry Lane has his own tempo, which we respect. We'll just have to slow up with him. Veteran umpire, very nice man. Been umpiring 23 years in the big leagues. 3-1 pitch taken inside, ball 4. So Eovaldi, after striking out Olchin and Carroll, turns around to walk the opposing pitcher. And the batter will be Tony Gwynn, who tripled in the first inning. Chassin annoyed with himself. His body language certainly tells you that. Tony Gwynn, 3 for 10, including his triple against Ulysses Chassin. Of course, the last thing the Dodgers need is for Eovaldi to run the bases. I mean, he's already made 61 pitches. They're not going to hold him on. But like the Mad Dogs and Englishmen, he's out in the midday sun. And the pitch off the plate, ball 1. So now Alfonso going out to talk to Chassin, who looks a little ticked off at himself. We have met the enemy, and they are us. So Alfonso out to the mound. They're both from Venezuela, so it's a pretty good countryman battery. Chassin wandering behind the mound, now up on top. He had a tough enough first inning when he made 25 pitches. So here's Gwynn. 2 out, second inning, 5-1 Colorado. And a drive into left field, moving in, and to his left is Seth Smith to make the catch. And that'll do it for the Dodgers. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left. And at the end of 2, 5-1 Colorado. Jack in the Box. Try the new Jumbo Breakfast Platter for just $2.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. Third inning, 5-1 in favor of the Rockies. Jerry Lane at the end of the second inning walked away from home plate, went to the runway, and disappeared. And now, just moments ago, after going down to the runway, you'll see what he's going down there. That is a cool pack, and he's going to put it underneath his shirt, which is then covered by the chest protector. And in his brief attempt to cool off, he now comes back wearing the cool pack, and he'll be doing that after every 2 innings. Jerry, umpiring 23 years, lives in Florida, so he certainly knows about heat and humidity. Third inning, 5-1 Rockies, and Seth Smith leads off, takes ball 1. Seth singled to right in the first inning and eventually came around to score. Evaldi's 1-0 pitch on the way. Seth takes a little high, ball 2, 2-0. So there's an addition to the game, the cool pack worn by the plate umpire. 2-0. Foul back. You may not remember the name Jerry Lane, but we'll remind you. Jerry was the plate umpire the night that Fernando Valenzuela pitched his no-hitter here. The same Jerry Lane. He was a lot cooler. 2-1. Seth Smith takes very high, ball 3, 3-1 the count. So the Padres are here for 3, and we then will have run out of August. Dodgers will go to Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Washington, finish the long road trip in San Francisco, and then come home for the final homestand of the year as Seth Smith hits a high fly ball playable in right center. Kemp taking charge out there and makes the catch for the out. 1 away here in the third inning. Ty Wigginton coming up. The final homestand of the year will be very, very important to teams involved. The Arizona Diamondbacks will be here September 12, 13, and 14. And the Giants will be here on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, in between the Pittsburgh Pirates. So here's Ty Wigginton, the first baseman today, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. On deck, Kevin Kuzminov. Rockies lead 5-1. Wigginton was at first when Kuzminov's fly ball dropped into right center. Ty came all the way around. Takes a slider on the corner for a strike. 0-2. Wigginton hitting .251. He has some sock. He has 14 home runs. Strike 2 pitch on the way is swung on, a little flare to Loney, and we have 2 down, and the batter will be Kevin Kuzminov. You know, Star Wars night at Dodger Stadium is back. That's right, September 16th, 7:10. Dodgers and Pirates. Fans can purchase a ticket in the all-you-can-eat pavilion, receive a free Dodger Star Wars themed T-shirt. Plus, enjoy Friday night fireworks set to Star Wars music. Tickets for the package limited, only available at Dodgers.com/Star Wars. And here's Kuzminov, and he takes a little low, ball 1, 1-0. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. Got them all in the first inning. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. They picked up their run in the first inning. Eovaldi into the windup. Nathan comes back. Kuzminov takes a little high. 2-0 the count. We mentioned Eovaldi is from Alvin, Texas, Nolan Ryan's hometown. He went to the same high school that Nolan Ryan attended, Alvin High School, the Alvin High School Yellow Jackets. Nolan Ryan was the class of 1965. Nathan Eovaldi was the class of 2008. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and Wigginton takes a strike, and the count 3-1. Eovaldi had a scholarship to go to Texas A&M, but instead signed with the Dodgers. His pitch to Wigginton is foul back. That runs the count 3-2. For Eovaldi, a pretty heavy fastball, they call it, that's been clocked up to 97. Slider, and as a changeup, he uses a splitter. 3-2 pitch on the way. Wigginton swings, down he goes, and that's that. So a 1-2-3 inning for Eovaldi, and at the end of 2.5 innings, it remains 5-1 Colorado. Justin Sellers, Matt Kemp, and James Loney in that order. Dodgers trying to get to the 500 with a win against Jhoulys Chacín. Dodgers are 1 game under. Chacín, meanwhile, made 25 pitches in the first inning, cut that down to 14 in the second. And now here we go in the bottom of the third. Justin Sellers came up after Tony Gwynn led off the game for the Dodgers with a triple, and Sellers promptly singled to center to drive him in. Just watching Sellers, you get the idea that his inner confidence, there's no showboating about him, but one of his great strengths is his unflappability, and that's a great thing to see in a young player. 1 ball, no strike. You'll see him make an error, and he'll look up and hold up 2 fingers to say there's 2 out. He doesn't hang his head, kick at the ground, hits 1 foul down the line. 1 ball, 1 strike. I remember it was either the first or second game he played. He had gotten a base hit, and the next time he came up, the pitcher, right-handed, threw one right at his left elbow to drive him off the plate. And his reaction was a quick smile, as if to say, oh, good. This guy respects me enough to drive me off the plate. 1-1 to Justin. Right-hand hitter lashes one, and by the diving Kuzminov and down the line. It's coming back to Tulowitzki, and by that time, Sellers into second base. He has blistered a double. Justin Sellers' 5th double to go with his home run. Tell you what, you look at Justin Sellers, you look at D. Gordon, and you start thinking about the future. The ball that Sellers hit right by the top roller. Instead of going on to left field where Smith could get it, it carried him back towards the infield. Tulowitzki always hustling, tried to make a play on it, but no chance. So Sellers opens up with a double, and here's Matt Kemp. 5-1 Rockies, 3rd inning. Matt struck out in the first. Chacin out of his stretch, looks back at second, right-hander ready and deals. Matt, a big swing and a miss. Now that pitch was up and in. The pitch that got him swinging in the first inning was down and away. 0-1 the count. Matt back up and waiting. Sellers can take a pretty good lead. Herrera can't do very much at second base to hold him on. Kemp goes after one that appears down, and they count 0-2. Or was it Don Mattingly said? They were talking about Matt Kemp after the game, and he was talking about Matt's home run, and he said he didn't crush it, but it just flew. He looked a little tired yesterday, but beast mode, don't care. 0-2 the count. Kemp waiting, Chacin ready, here he comes, and it's off the plate, and Matt just does hold out. 1-2 the count. Matt Kemp batting .322, 31 home runs, 100 RBIs. That's one thing about this series. You're looking at 3 big stars, Matt Kemp, Troy Tulowitzki, and Carlos Gonzalez. I mean, they're exceptional. 1-2 the count to Kemp. Chacin thinks better of the pitch and backs off the rubber for the moment, trying to dry his hand on the right pants leg. That's another thing in this heat. Naturally, you perspire. Hard to get a grip on the ball. 1-2 the count. Chacin delivers down and away, overthrowing a fastball. Tried to get a little extra on it. It was clocked at 92, but it wasn't close to the strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chacin trying to rub a wrinkle in the ball. Sellers at second. The great hands of Gil Hodges. When the Dodger pitchers in Hodges' day wanted to get a better grip on the ball, they'd give it to Gil, and he had these huge hands, and he'd squeeze the ball. You'd think he'd break it in half. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. So Matt might be pressing a little bit. Struck out with a runner on in the first inning. Strikes out with a runner at second in the third. And the batter will be James Loney. For Matt Kemp, by the way, as he walks back, he has appeared in 132 games. In other words, all of them. And you just have no idea how tough it is to play a full season. It is really virtually impossible, especially nowadays coast to coast, 3 time zones. Never quite that tough in the old days. Loney takes a high strike and the count 0-1. Sellers at second, 1 away. Loney at the plate, followed by Aaron Miles. 5-1, favor the Rockies. Sellers with a double at second. Tulowitzki trying to bird dog him a little bit, and a bluff by Chacin. With a left-hand hitter up, Herrera's out of the play. He's on the rim at second base, so it's up to Tulowitzki to be in constant motion. And if he's fortunate, Tulo can look in and read the signs to figure out fastball or breaking ball or off-speed pitch, and that would help the shortstop. Fastball, and if it's going to go to Loney inside, he's thinking, well, he can pull that pitch. Strike one pitch on the way. Loney takes a breaking ball low, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, 3rd inning. 5-1 Colorado, trying to salvage one and trying to split the season series. The Rockies win, then each team will have won 9 of the 18. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Loney promptly bangs it into left center. That's going to roll through. Unable to cut it off is Seth Smith. So Loney stops at second with an RBI double, and it's 5-2 Colorado. And Loney continues to have a monstrous time in the month of August and continues to wear out Colorado. The James went down to get a pitch low on the outside part of the plate, maybe, and whacked it into left center. Loney was hitting .381 for the 23 games, and he's 1 for 2 today, so it'll add some numbers to that. And here's Aaron Miles trying to pick him up. Dodgers have 4 hits, 2 doubles, a triple, and a single. Chacin ready, looks back at Loney, works Miles, that's fouled away. Rockies 5, Dodgers 2. Combination of the heat and the number of pitches made makes you get the feeling it will be very difficult for either pitcher to be around for a length of time. 0-1 the count to Aaron Miles, who walked in the first inning. Chacin, a look back and a throw, and it gets off the bag. See, it didn't hit Loney, but it was awfully close. And the carom backed up by Herrera. Tulowitzki saying something to Loney. It bounced up off Tulo's arm. He lost sight of it, but it went over to Herrera. Loney was out of the play anyway. He was down on his haunches. 0-1 the count to Aaron Miles. Chacin ready. Here he comes, and it's low and inside below the left knee. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ulysses Chacin, 25 years old. Nope. 24 years old. Nope. Only 23. The 1-1 pitch. Miles gets a high pitch and grounds it to the right side. Herrera will make the play. So with 2 out, Loney moves over to third, and the batter will be Rod Barajas. Well, in the heat, the inability to get a good grip on the ball, your first thought now, with a runner at third, does Chacin have any wild pitches? And the answer is you betcha. He has a half a dozen wild pitches. Also, of course, hanging over this final game is that cloud that hung over the first game. Remember the balks? Well, we'll see. Loney pretty much of a quiet base runner, however. James just standing on his lead, not bluffing like Miles did the night he caused the balk. Barajas, a fly ball to right, coming in and over is Gonzalez, and that's it. So the Dodgers get a couple of doubles for a run, and at the end of 3, the Rockies lead 5-2. Try one of 4 new delicious flame grilled chicken burritos. For a limited time, they're only $5 each. Feel the Mexcellence. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. 4th inning, 5-2 Colorado. They scored 5 in the first inning, sent 9 men to the plate. Dodgers got 1 in the first, 1 in the third. And we go to the 4th inning. Nathan Eovaldi trying to settle down. He made 75 pitches, however, in the first 3 innings. Did retire the side in order in the third. So it'll be Alfonso, Chacin, and Fowler in that order. Foul ball. Alfonso staying at the plate. Dodgers trying to make a play on the ball, but it's a foul. And the count 0-1. By the way, we just got some great news, and I'm sure happy to pass it along. In fact, I wish I had been able to do it during the simulcast, but we just got it now. The fact that Jaime Jarrín, one of my dear friends who has been broadcasting Dodger baseball for 53 years, will return next year. Jaime next year will begin his 54th year of doing a great job as the leader in the Spanish broadcast. Outstanding broadcaster and a great guy. One of my real favorites. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fouled away. 1-2. Alfonso single to right field to drive in the 5th run in the first inning. He scored Kevin Kuzminoff. 1-2 the count. Still 1-2. Well, they were talking about earlier whether Eovaldi, they're going to watch his pitch count and his starts, and then maybe at a certain level put him in the bullpen because he is only 21. They don't want to overpitch him. And Mattingly has talked about his ability. Line drive right at Loney. 1 away.
Batting next pitcher, number 45, Ulysses Chacin.
Ulysses Chacin coming up. He had a hard line drive right at the belt buckle of James Loney for the out. Off speed, ball 1. Matt Latos and Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night. Now that's a pitching duel. Foul ball, 1-1. Latos not getting many runs support. He's got a pretty good ERA, a little more than 3.5, but he's only 6-12. Kershaw, he'll be looking for his 17th win tomorrow night. Foul back. 1-2. That'll be on Prime Ticket. Tuesday night, Tim Stauffer and Hiroki Kuroda on KCAL 9. Wednesday afternoon on Prime Ticket, Wade LeBlanc and Ted Lilly. 1-2 the count. And popped up. It will be the shortstop Sellers taking charge. That's the other thing about him. He is not shy at all of saying, I've got it. I mean, he has 2 veterans, Carroll on one side, Miles on the other. He's not going to bat an eye. If he thinks he has it, he takes it. 2 down. And with all of that, doing very well defensively and with the bat. It'll be kind of fun when he's ready to play to see both Sellers and D. Gordon in the same game. Dexter Fowler walked, stole a base, scored a run. Last time up, flied to left, so Dexter 0 for 1 out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Fowler's dad coached youth baseball, and his mom was an elementary. He is going for his 17th. He's 16-4. Kershaw tomorrow night goes for his 17th. He's 16-5. And the Astros are leading the Giants 1-0 in the 7th inning. Bud Norris has struck out 8 Giants in 6 innings. It's Matt Cain. One other note on that game. That's a foul ball. Here it is. Matt Cain pitching for the Giants, who have won 13 games this year, 13 of them, when scoring only 1 or 2 runs. Carlos Beltran is hitting .290 going into the game, but he has certainly not helped the won and lost column. They're 11-18 since Beltran joined the club. Ground ball to Sellers. He gets it over to Loney, and that'll do it. No runs, a double, and a man left. The end of 3.5, 5-2 Colorado. Taken in the ball game. The question is, since Gibson and Hershiser in '88, who are the only 3 National League teams well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. Meanwhile, we can tell you some news about the Little League. 0-1 to Olsen. Huntington Beach Little League has just defeated Japan 2-1 to win the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Nick Prato had a bases loaded 2-out single that won the game. So congratulations to both teams for a remarkable run. Somebody had to win, and it was Huntington Beach. One thing when you have a Little League World Series, youngsters 12 and under, you can bet it's heartbreak to lose, and there'll be some tears, and an hour later they'll be in the swimming pool or whatever. No lingering doubts or heartaches, I would hope. Huntington Beach 2, Japan 1. 5-2 Rockies. Trent Olchen struck out in the second inning. Just inside, 1-2. Ulysses Chassin, given a 5-run lead, gave one back in the first, another in the third. Two and two. And got him. Kind of a quiet strike three down there at home plate, isn't it? Olchen just walks away.
Second baseman, number 14.
Jamie Carroll is coming up. Down in the Dodger bullpen, the Hawk stirs yet again. Blake Hawksworth. So the Dodgers thinking hitter, but Eovaldi is out on deck. One out in the fourth. Jamie Carroll struck out in the second inning. Ball one. Ground ball to the hole by the diving Kuzminov. So Carroll gets the base hit with one out. And it will bring up Eovaldi. Nathan looks down to Tim Wallace to see now if they want to play for a run. Eovaldi has had 8 at-bats. He got a walk in the second inning. We don't know if he can bunt or not. We're going to find out, I think, in a moment. Showing bunt takes a strike. Wigginton charging from one side, Kuzminov the other. All the while, Jamie Carroll at first. Of course, they have to be careful about Carroll. Jamie is 10 for 10 in stolen bases. Showing bunt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wallach again looking in towards Mattingly. Missed the bunt. 1-2 to Nathan. Tony Gwynn 1 for 2 on deck. See if they keep the bunt on with 2 strikes. Well, he's not showing. Now he does. Missed it. So Eovaldi strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Chassin.
Outfielder number 10, Tony Gwynn Jr.
Tony Gwynn tripled to right, scored on a base hit by Sellers, and flied to left. Dodgers left Loney at third base in the third inning. So it's still 5-2 Colorado. Matt Latos, Clayton Kershaw in the cool of the evening tomorrow. Time. Let's see who's walking away from what. I don't know if the dreaded infield fly came around. That was a fleet thing that happened in St. Louis with Matt Holliday, where that, did you read about it or listen or watch, where the big moth flew into Holliday's ear? He had to leave the game. And anyone who goes back with me to 1962, when Dodger Stadium opened, you have never seen such moths that came out of the palm trees the first 2 years here at night when the lights came on. They were as big as my index finger. Really. And you know, it was scary not knowing that. You know, I'd park the car and I'd come in and do the game, and I might leave the window down just a little bit. I'd get in the car to drive home, and I'd be going along, and all of a sudden a moth that looked like a bat would be flying in my face while I'm on. Whoa. But the moths, they have moved on to better grounds. But that was no joke. They were the biggest moth. It could not. They were so big it couldn't get in your ear. Couldn't get in your nose. It could certainly get in my mouth because it's open so much. But really huge. 1-1 to Tony Gwynn. Keep an eye on Carroll with 2 out. So will Chassin. Nice block by Alfonso. 2-1 to count. What an exhausting job, huh? In the heat, being a catcher. How about catching in St. Louis? Cincinnati. That's the thing that made Johnny Bench so amazing. He was so incredibly strong. I mean, of all the players on the field, you expect the catcher's batting average to go down during the course of the year out of fatigue. Not Bench. 3-1. We'll see if Carroll tries to go. On deck, Justin Sellers. Carroll does not go, and it is strike 2. So he'll be going now with 2 out. Matt Latos, Clayton Kershaw. Wigginton comes off the bag. Carroll try to get a move on the 3-2 pitch. There he goes. And a ground ball to the hole. Great hit by Herrera, but the throw pulls Wigginton off. And over to third, going Carroll. So Jonathan Herrera made a fine effort. If it goes through, that have been runners at first and third anyway. And by making that off-balance throw after a great pick, it's a base hit. Dodgers have first and third, and Justin Sellers, the batter. Great try by Jonathan Herrera. Gwynn hustling for his second hit. Wigginton trying to stay on the bag, finally had to get off in order to retrieve the throw, and Gwynn had beaten the throw anyway. So first and third, 2 out. The batter is Justin Sellers, and Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach, went out to counsel Chassin. And of course, Sellers is a huge at-bat because you have Matt Kemp hitting behind him. So Justin singled to center to drive in a run, and double to left, leading off, and scored in the third. Sellers has his average now. Of course, he hadn't had very many at bats, but nevertheless, that looks awfully good at 294 with a home run, 8 RBIs. And remember, again, with a runner at third, Chassin has a half a dozen wild pitches. Chassin concentrating on Sellers, but he can't afford to forget Gwynn. Gwynn has stolen 19 out of 22. Jamie Carroll 10-0 down the line from third. Ball 1 to Justin. Jhoulys Chassin trying to get above the 500 mark. He is 10-10. An ERA of about 3.5. Carroll and Gwynn at the corners. 1 ball and no strikes to Sellers with 2 out. And he hits one down the right field line, and it's going to be caught. A great play by a great player, Carlos Gonzalez. That's what the great ones do. Somehow or other, they make game-saving catches. Wow. Marvelous diving catch by Carlos Gonzalez, rolling over and holding on to the ball. Great play, no matter how you look at it. It's still 5-2 Colorado. Eovaldi will fold him up, but at the end of 4 innings, you can see each pitcher with a half a dozen hits. The score is the difference, and as far as strikeouts and walks, certainly not much of a disparity. If there is a big opening, it would be the matter of pitches made. 73 by Chacin, 89 by Eovaldi, and remember, Nathan made 41 pitches in the first inning. There were 13 foul balls. Right now, Chacin goes out, leaving, and coming in, Blake Hawksworth for Nathan Eovaldi. So the Hawk trying to keep him quiet and hoping his team can catch up. The Dodgers had 2 doubles for a run in the 3rd and left Loney at 3rd, and they just left 1st and 3rd in the 4th, so they're trying to nibble away at Chacin. Here's the man who made the play, the wonderful Carlos Gonzalez. Takes a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Gonzalez had a single in the 2nd inning, though he has hit safely in 14 straight. The other streak, he has an RBI in 11 straight. With the Hawksworth, Gonzalez 3 for 6 with a home run. One and 2 the count. Tough challenge for Blake Hawksworth. Gonzalez 3 for 6 with a home run, followed by Tulowitzki 3 for 7 with a home run. 5-2 Rockies, 5th inning. After seeing that play that he made, it should come as no surprise that last year Carlos Gonzalez won a Gold Glove. Two and 2. Gonzalez is a very compact 6'1", 225. He has all the tools. He stole 26 bases last year. Foul ball. Cargo so far this year, 24 home runs, 86 RBIs, and he has stolen 17 out of 21 and picked up his 18th in the second inning. Though 18 out of 22. They can do it all. The Rockies would be a lot closer than 11 back if they hadn't lost Carlos Gonzalez over 3 weeks. Line drive into right field down the line. Olsen was overshifted. By the time he comes back to get it, there can't be a play. It'll be a double for Carlos Gonzalez. He is 2 for 3 today for Gonzalez. 23 doubles, 3 triples, and look at the swing. Weight on the back leg as he curls that right leg. Strides and stays right on. Full extension. Spread eagle, almost like a left-handed Joe DiMaggio. Beautiful swing. He's quite a player. Wow. So now Tulowitzki, another quite a player, who has singled and struck out coming up. Tulowitzki has done pretty well against the Western Division at the expense of the Dodgers and the Padres. Ball one. Tulo hitting .380 against the Padres, .386 against the Dodgers, then just .250 against the Giants. And with the division leading D-backs, they have shut him down. He's hitting .133 with only a half a dozen hits in 45 at-bats against Arizona. 1-0. Ball two. With that knowledge, you look up and see, well, how are they doing against the Giants? Well, Tulo doesn't hit well against the Giants. They've lost 7 of 11. They've only played Arizona 8 games, and they're 4-4. And you know they're 8-9 against the Dodgers going into this game. Foul ball. 2-1 to count to Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo from up north in Sunnyvale. But of course, he was the spearhead player at a Long Beach State. Had an incredible rookie year. Gonzalez at second, nobody out, 5th inning. Off the plate. You realize how quickly Troy Tulowitzki arrived, and I mean arrived full capital letters. He had played only 550 games, and the Rockies were so convinced they gave him that contract for $157 million. I mean, that's really making a great impression. Three and two. They gave the $80 million deal to Carlos Gonzalez after 300 games. They gave the veteran Todd Helton $140 million after 506 games and gave him a day off today. Well deserved. 3 and 2. And down he goes. So that's the second time today Tulowitzki has struck out. And the batter will be Seth Smith. Still 5-2 favor of Colorado. Got them all in the first inning. So disgusted Tulo back to the dugout with the mullet. And I knew what the mullet was this time. Seth Smith single to right, fly to center, 1 for 2. And let's see. I think that's ball one, but Jerry held up his right hand for a moment. 1 ball and no strikes. What to do with Seth Smith? He's Mr. Extra Base Hit. Smith 26 doubles, 7 triples, 15 home runs. Interesting thing, we've talked about it before, the Rockies have Seth Smith at Ole Miss, backup quarterback to Eli Manning, and never got a snap. And Todd Helton sitting in the dugout, quarterback at the University of Tennessee, with Peyton Manning, the quarterback. But they both did pretty well choosing baseball. 1 ball and no strikes to Seth Smith. Seth, born in the state of Mississippi, still very active down there. And he bangs that thing. That's only going to hit, and it should go deep, and it's finally cut off by Matt, but no way he can make a play on anybody. The run scores easily, and the Rockies add 1 to lead 6-2. Doubles by Gonzalez and Smith. So Seth Smith, another extra base hit. 27 doubles. Matt made a good play to keep it to a double. If it goes to the wall, Smith easily could have picked up the extra base. So Hawk comes in, gives up 2 doubles and a run. 6-2 Rockies, and here's Ty Wigginton. Foul ball out of play. Wigginton with 14 home runs, 44 RBIs. Plays a lot of third, briefly at first to spell Helton. Played a little bit of left field here. And you may remember that night he did the big league casual one-hand catch and dropped the ball. Fouled away. 0-2. Ty Wigginton, born in San Diego. Dad used to take him to a lot of Padres games as a kid. And his 2 favorite players, Pete Rose, Don Mattingly. And he lines it. Gwynn is there. Boy, that thing was really hit hard. So just a line drive out, and Kevin Kuzminoff coming up. And for Blake Hawksworth, a shaky inning. So Wigginton drills it, comes up empty, goes 0 for 2. Now here is Kuzminoff. You look in the box score, he has a double, 3 runs batted in. But where Wigginton almost took the hands off Gwynn, Kuzminoff hit a fly ball into shallow right center. It eluded both a diving Trent Olson and the hustling Jamie Carroll. Remember earlier we were talking about Kevin Kuzminoff, the first pitch that he saw to begin his major league career. He hit a grand slam home run. This time he gets one by the diving Sellers. The scoring is Smith. So it is 7-2. So Hawksworth is struggling very much and got away with that line drive off the bat of Wigginton. So Kuzminoff is now 2 for 3 with 4 runs batted in. Sellers giving it his best shot to keep it on the infield, but he couldn't get there. Just to finish about Kuzminoff, he was the only one to hit the first pitch for a grand slam home run in his career. The only one to do it in over 100 years. And 4 years later, it happened again. Daniel Nova of the Red Sox did it last year. That's right. So now it's been done twice. nada. 0-1 the count. (7-2) Rockies. Foul ball, 0-2. Alfonso single to right, and last time up he hit a line drive. That was right at Loney. No balls and 2 strikes. And there goes the runner, and there goes the fly ball. Olsen over to get it, and that'll be that. But a couple of doubles and a single, and Colorado adds to the lead, 7-2. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Matt Kemp, James Loney, and Aaron Miles against Ulysses Chassin. And of course, as the starting pitcher, he has to go 5. That's a required distance in order to pick up a win. It would be a good win for him to get him above 500 in a game where he has allowed 2 runs to the Dodgers, which is news. We mentioned at the start of the game he had allowed the Dodgers 1 run in 21 innings. Matt Kemp struck out in the 1st inning and struck out in the 3rd, leaving a runner at second base at the same time. That's ball 1. Chassin, who's been pitching him away, decides to move him off the plate, make him think about inside. It's all part of the game. Kemp's had trouble with Chassin in the past anyway. This time a high fly ball to right center, playable. Dexter Fowler. So Kemp doesn't hang around. 1 away. Remember the trivia question. We were talking about 2 of the great names in Dodger history, Gibson and Hershiser in '88. Who are the only 3 National League teams who have been so fortunate to have the Cy Young and MVP? And here they are. Drabek and Bonds with the Pirates, Glavine and Pendleton with the Braves, Carpenter and Pujols with the Cardinals. I'm sure you knew it. Here's Loney, grounded out, doubled. Big chopper backing up for the hop. Wigginton spots his man Chassin. 2 down in the 5th inning, and Aaron Miles coming up.
Now batting number 6.
Chassin trying to do it with a minimum number of pitches. Up to 76. So far, he's only made 3 pitches in the inning. Here's Miles, walk, grounded out, 0 for 1. One ball and no strikes. One and one. Line foul down the line. One ball and one strike. Comebacker. So Chassin, with a minimum number of pitches, gets out of a 1-2-3 inning and walks off leading 7-2. Kid in the streets of New York. I knew about Josh Gibson. I knew about Satchel Paige. They were two superstars in the old Negro leagues, as they called it. When I went to the Polo Grounds to see a game, outside the Polo Grounds was a dirt area where they played cricket. Well, anyway, being aware of the Negro leagues, the presence of Josh Gibson, I never thought of anything when I read about Jackie Robinson talking to Branch Rickey in Brooklyn. I thought he was going to wind up with another Negro team. Nope, this was the day he was told he was heading for the Dodgers. Let's go back to this one. Rockies have had a comfortable lead ever since the first inning when they scored 5. Chassin likes to swing the bat. You can just tell. So far he's lined out and popped up. 1-1 to count. Also, Chassin has to be a little pumped. He got through the 5th inning on only 7 pitches. One ball and one strike. 2-1. Rockies scored 5 in the first, 2 in the 5th. Now in the 6th inning, Chassin takes a strike. We figured that Jerry Lane would leave every 2 innings to get a cool pack. But Jerry, bless him, he also left at the end of the 5th inning. So the battle cry for the umpires right now is more ice, more ice. The cool pack fits right under his shirt and behind the chest protector. Of course, that's another big change in the game. Chacin hacks one, but Quinn is there, one away. In the old days, there was a huge difference between the plate umpire in the National League and the plate umpire in the American League. The American League used a big, inflated, almost like a mattress, and it went from almost the Adam's apple, certainly down to about the knees. It was very uncomfortable, very unwieldy, and because of that, the feeling always was that American League hitters did not get the low ball. The National League umpires wore the inner protection so they could move around more, and National League pitchers got that low strike. But of course, they homogenized all of the umpires, so they work both National and American, and they all wear the inner chest protector. And if you weren't with us earlier, we showed you Jerry putting the cool pack inside along the chest protector. Any sign of dripping? No balls and 2 strikes. No, down goes Fowler. He winds up with a walk and a double as far as his bases adventure goes. And the batter will be Jonathan Herrera. You know, you can follow the Dodgers with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and much more. Text at Bat 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. High twisting foul. Miles coming over, but no play. Two out, 6th inning, 7-2 Colorado. By the way, the Rockies so far today are 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and 4 of the 5 hits coming with 2 outs. Pulled foul. For Jim Tracy, you'd love him. Very nice guy. We wish him well as he departs to move on for the road trip. Oh, and 2. Foul back. Rockies might very well prove to be a significant challenge in the next few days. While the Dodgers are playing San Diego here, Colorado will go to Arizona. As we mentioned earlier, the Dodgers have 12 games to affect the race. 6 with the Giants, 6 with Arizona, half here, half there. With the last 3 with Arizona, the last 3 weekdays of the season. Fly ball to Kemp. So a 1-2-3 inning for Blake Hawksworth. Down go the Rockies, but at the end of 5.5 innings, they're leading 7-2. The freeze cam, you'll notice there's no one in right field in the picture on the fly ball. Carroll's going out. Olchen finally comes in, makes a head-first dive, and just misses making the catch. And by the time the Dodgers run down the double, 3 runs scored, and that gave the Rockies 5 in the first inning. They've added a couple, and the Rockies lead 7-2. Now in the bottom of the 6th, Rod Barajas, followed by Trent Olchen and then Jamie Carroll. They showed a quick clip on Diamond Vision of the kids from Huntington Beach winning the Little League World Series. And of course the Dodgers have a young player from Huntington Beach, Justin Sellers, taking it in from a major league dugout. Had to bring back some memories for him, I'm sure. Went to Marina High School in Huntington Beach. That's a long way from Little League. And meanwhile, Barajas hits a fly ball, but foul. All year long, we kept commenting on the fact that, boy, Barajas hits a lot of fly balls. Brian Hagan looked it up. He's number 1 in hitting fly balls. Today, fly to center, fly to right. Two and one to Rod Barajas, followed by Olchen and Carroll. 2-2. Of course, Barajas hits a lot more than fly balls. He has 14 home runs and 9 doubles. Ball 3. Couple of scores. Diamondbacks are leading the Padres 3-1, bottom of the 7th inning. Ian Kennedy has gone 7 innings and goes out with the lead. Giants and Astros bottom of the 8th in a 2-2 tie. Barajas gets the walk. Giants got 2 in the 7th inning to take a 2-1 lead, but Houston tied it in the 8th against Matt Cain. So we'll keep you posted. Arizona trying to maintain a 3-game lead over the Giants. Chacin, after a 7-pitch 5th inning, opens up the 6th with a walk. He has walked 3. Olchen has struck out twice. Trent doesn't play a lot. Use him as a pinch hitter, but he gets the start today over Andre Ethier. Ball 1. Olchen 3 for 15 as a pinch hitter. And he lifts one foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trent Olchen from Sydney, Australia. The Twins signed him 10 years ago out of Australia. There was a 12-year hiatus in Australia as far as baseball was concerned. And then the Australian Baseball League, supported by Major League Baseball, went back to work. So it meant that Trent would play in the States and then he could go home and play in Australia. So this year he began the year at Albuquerque, was with the Dodgers very briefly last year, and made his major league debut 2 years ago with the Diamondbacks. 1-2 the count to Trent. 28 years old, 6'1", 190. Check, they look, no swing. 2-2. It was important for Australia to reactivate baseball, because after the regular year, where he's playing in Albuquerque, Nashville, or wherever, he would then play winter ball either in Mexico or Venezuela. So it was a big break to go home and play more ball. 2-2. Ball 3. 7-2 in favor of Colorado. Barajas at first, nobody out. Dodgers trying to get something started. Lost 2 runs probably in the 4th inning on a diving catch by Carlos Gonzalez on a ball hit by Justin Sellers. All right, 3-2, pretty big pitch. Barajas at first, nobody out. And ball 4. So the Dodgers certainly see an opening. Bob Apodaca sees a problem. And the pitching coach is from Los Angeles on his way to the mound. 2 on, nobody out. Jamie Carroll will be the batter. Struck out, single left. Jamie Carroll will then be followed by Eugenio Velez coming out of the bench to hit for Hawksworth. Dodgers have certainly not been out of the game. They've had somebody on base in every inning but the 5th. They scored in the 1st, broke through again in the 3rd. Probably would have scored a couple except for that diving catch by Carlos Gonzalez. And now here they are, 2 on, nobody out in the 6th inning. Jamie Carroll struck out, single left. Got as far as 3rd in the 4th inning. So Barajas and Olsen out there. (7-2) Colorado. 6th inning, nobody out. And as usual, Jamie takes a strike. Oh, and 2. Ulysses Chacin facing Jamie Carroll. Jamie has walked 40 times, struck out 50 times in a hole here, 0-2. One and 2 down and dirty, so a new ball put in play. Down in the Rockies bullpen, Chacin could very well be wilting in the sun. The left-hander Matt Reynolds, the right-hander Matt Belisle. 1-2. In the dirt, nice save by Alfonso. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vivaldi started, he went 4. Chacin got through 5 and is wobbly here in the 6th. 2-2. For Jamie Carroll, trying to extend the inning. He has grounded into only 3 double plays this year. He's had well over 400 plate appearances. And he has struck out about 12-13%. That's all. So 2-2 the count. 2 on, nobody out. Whoa. Boy, did that get away. That is not an intimidation pitch. You don't want to go 3-2. We've talked about trying to grip the ball, and that thing just got away. You know, he's using his shirt, his pants, anything to dry his hands. Just another problem pitching in 90-degree weather. So 3-2, nobody out. You don't expect the runners to go, Barajas and Olson, but you look. They hold on ball 4. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Chacin is almost ready to melt. And Eugenio Velez coming up. The switch hitter who will be coming up to hit left-handed. Velez in a tough spot. He doesn't play very often. The only time they use him is in a pinch hitting role, and he is looking for his first hit. As a pinch hitter, 0 for 9. And let's see, it might be the end for Chacin. They'll go to the pen, and we'll be right back. He walked 3 to load the bases in the 6th inning. He made 99 pitches in 5 innings plus. Nathan Eovaldi in 4 innings made 89 pitches, and Eovaldi's problem was the 1st inning where he made 41 pitches. So each and every one very, very important in the heat. So here's Matt Reynolds against a Dodger team that has flailed in efficiency with the bases loaded. This year the Dodgers are hitting 176 with the bases loaded. And here is Eugenio Velez. 0-1. For Velez, soft-spoken, quiet, but in his own way, he has to be pressing. I mean, everybody understands how tough it is to only pinch hit, but he is 0 for 27. And a slow ground ball, 2-0 for 1. The throw to first pulls Wigginton off the bag. So Velez hits into a force play to get Barajas home. With nobody out, Barajas would have scored even on a double play. So for Velez, a little bit of consolation. He actually picks up a run batted in, and everybody moves up. Olson goes to third. Carroll forced. And the batter Tony Gwynn, who has tripled and singled. Velez has a stolen base. And a high fly ball, very playable. Under it is Smith, tagging and coming to the plate to score easy as Olson. It is 7-4 Colorado as the Dodgers keep trying to whittle away. So Gwynn, sacrifice fly to left and a run batted in. Olson carries it in. And now Jim Tracy is going back out to the mound, so it could be that Reynolds will give way. Matt Belisle is down there, and you have the right hand hitting Justin Sellers talking to Matt Kemp in the on deck circle. Sure enough, it's Belisle, and sure enough, we'll be back. Batter in the fourth inning on a play that might be the biggest play of the day. With a couple of men on first and third, he hit one down the line, and Carlos Gonzalez made a truly remarkable catch. The old story of a great player making a great play at the great time, and that catch by Gonzalez is really the difference. Had he not made the catch, the 2 runs certainly would have scored, and they would have been set up for a third. And those 3 runs are the difference now. It's 7-4 as Matt Belisle comes in to face Justin Sellers. Sellers singled to center to drive in Gwynn, doubled in the third inning, and Loney drove him home. And then he was robbed on the play by Gonzalez. So Matt Belisle trying to restore order. And the first thing is to keep an eye over there at first. Velez is 1 for 1 in stolen bases. Matt Belisle has inherited 37 runners this year. 9 have scored off the rubber. For Belisle, pretty big, strong guy as he keeps an eye on Velez. 16, 17 games Belisle has been asked to pitch more than just 3 outs. He also has picked off 3 runners and had 2 others picked off who were caught stealing. So Velez has to be very careful against Matt Belisle. Matt's out of McAllen, Texas, so the heat shouldn't bother him that much. 6'3", 230. And fouled away. Sellers 2 for 3, but for the catch by Gonzalez, he'd have had a perfect day with the bat. Oh, 0-2. Ball 1. Belisle was originally signed by the Atlanta Braves back in 1998. But as so often happens, he finally made it to the big leagues with another team, the Reds. And he was up and down in the Reds organization until he came to the Rockies in 2009. 1-2. Down and dirty. Belisle very much into scuba diving. That sounds strange for a boy from deep in the heart of Texas, but he lives right by Lake Travis in Austin. Got his scuba certification. Now he's going the other way, trying to keep Colorado afloat. Fastball, curve, and change. 2-2. So Belisle and Sellers, 3 walks. Chase Chacin. Reynolds came in, only made 3 pitches. Got Velez on a force. Gwynn on a sacrifice fly. And now Belisle trying to take care of Sellers here in the 6th inning. Two and two. Velez hit into the force play, knocked in the run. And Sellers goes down swinging. So the Dodgers lead Velez. They do pick up 2, narrow the gap a little bit. But the Rockies and Chacin still lead 7-4. Quo comes out of the Dodger bullpen to pitch the 7th inning, and he has himself quite an obstacle course. It'll be Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Seth Smith. Gonzalez has a single and a double and 3 at-bats. Tulowitzki an RBI single, and Smith a single and a double. So Hung-Chi Quo coming in, and the Dodgers hoping that he'll throw strikes. He has 26 strikeouts, but 18 walks. And, of course, that's not the way it used to be. So we'll see how he goes today. Last year in 60 innings, Quo had 73 strikeouts. Carlos Gonzalez struck out, singled and stole second, double and scored a run. So one streak is alive. He has hit in 14 straight. The other streak is still in doubt, 11 straight with an RBI in each game, and he goes the other way for a base hit. What a joy to watch these players with that kind of talent. So Gonzalez singles to left. So to show you what kind of a hitter he is, he has singled to left, he has singled to center, and he has doubled to right. Now, of course, he's already stolen one base, and he's a threat to steal another. He's stolen 18 out of 22. Here's Tulowitzki, singled and struck out twice. Carlos Gonzalez on a 2-ball no strike count. His career batting average is .459. Tulowitzki 2-0 is .571. So keep an eye on the count. That's a strike off speed. Of course, of all the Dodger pitchers, Hiroki Kuroda is the one who has been hurt throughout his career. 2 balls and no strikes. The opposition is hitting .486 against Hiroki when he's behind 2-0. So Gonzalez at first with a leadoff single. Tulowitzki trying to move him around. Oh, and 1. Oh, hard ground ball to Sellers. The feed to Carroll. The turn to Loney. Troy Tulowitzki grounding into a double play. That is the 16th double play in which he has hit into. Matt Kemp has grounded into 15 double plays. So you come up all year long with a lot of runners in. You knock them home in many cases, and you hit into double plays. So quickly 2 out, and here's Seth Smith. Oh, and 1. And a high fly ball. Kemp going back on the grass. So despite the leadoff single, it turns out to be a 1-2-3 inning. And at the end of 6 1/2, 7-4 Colorado. game. Colorado led 5-0 in the very first inning, then to 7-2, and now 7-4. And in the bottom of the seventh inning, it will be Kemp, Loney, and Miles against right-hander Matt Lindstrom. Big boy out of Idaho. He's 6'4", 210. Born in Rexburg, Idaho. Matt went on a 2-year Mormon mission from 1999 through 2001. He went to Sweden, which is his family's country of origin. He doesn't talk much about the religious event except to say it helped him grow and develop his maturity. Then when he came home, he signed with the Mets in 2002. Never made it with the Mets. Came up with the Marlins finally. Then to the Astros, and now here with the Rockies. Matt Kemp struck out twice, fly to center. Kemp 2 for 7 in the past against Lindstrom. That would translate to a .286 batting average. Paid attendance today 38,503. 38,503. Many of them, as we mentioned earlier, went underneath the overhangs to get out of the sun. Ball 3. So 3-0 to Matt Kemp. Dodgers, who do not do much at all with bases loaded, have the bases loaded, nobody out in the sixth inning. Mattingly saw them get a run on a force play and a scoring fly ball, and now here they get their fourth walk in one inning plus.
First baseman, number 7, James Loney.
So James Loney has grounded out, doubled, and grounded out. His double knocked in a run. Sellers, who had doubled, back in the third inning. So Kemp at first. Loney at the plate. Dodgers down by 3. Matt Kemp, as you probably know, has stolen 33 out of 40. They know and go after him. If nothing else, try and take the spring out of his leg on a hot day, and now in the seventh inning. As Mattingly used the beast mode when you're physically as blessed as Matt Kemp is. Ball 1. When Matt Kemp hit the game-winning home run yesterday, as he went up towards first base, Davey Lopes ran away from him. They each understood Matt likes to whack Lopes' hand, and it was starting to really hurt. That's ball 2. So Davey Lopes, instead of the traditional handshake on the home run, he really backed off. 2-0 the count. Again, Bob Apodaca, who has made a lot of trips to the mound. I'm watching Kemp. He took his batting glove off, and then what they usually do, he's carrying one in his hand or putting it on. That's what I was wondering about. Normally, the base runner either carries the glove or reaches down and gets a handful of dirt. This will prevent you from dragging your hand if you're sliding feet first. So Matt, I thought, was just going to take the glove off and carry it like the gloves of an ambassador. But nope, put the glove back on. 2-0 to James Loney. Matt Lindstrom, 31 years old. And ball 3. So Loney who's been on a little bit of a power tag that has produced 8 home runs, they might even let him rip. There goes the runner. The pitch a strike. The throw is high, and Matt has stolen number 34. So you figured something was going to happen on that 3-0 pitch, and they were going to run Kemp. So now Loney with a 3-1 count. The high throw by Alfonso, and Matt had a good jump anyway. 34 stolen bases. Well, there are some people talking about the possibility of 40-40, but that is really asking a lot. You could see him stealing another 6 bases, but you can't see Matt hitting another 9 home runs between now and the end of the season. And then again, the kind of a year he's had, you at least think about it. 3-2 to James. And popped up. Tulo going out, calling for it, makes the play. Kemp has to hold, and the batter will be Aaron Miles.
Number 6, Aaron Miles.
Aaron Miles walked in the first inning, grounded to second, hit back to the box, 0 for 2. So Kemp trying to be picked up. Not much of a chance of trying to steal third, not with a left-hand hitter up, and Kuzminov is up about even with the bag. If you had somebody like a Barajas at the plate who's on deck, that would move Kuzminov back, and then you would think about Matt if the door is wide open. Not now. 1 ball and no strikes. And that's going to go whacking down the line into the right field corner. And this one is going to be in play. Miles into second base with a double. Scoring is Matt Kemp. And the Dodgers get a little closer, 7-5. Aaron almost hit it out. So now Rod Barajas coming up as Matt Kemp brings in a run. By the way, with everything else that Matt Kemp has done, he has also scored 85 runs this year. I mean, you talk about busy, productive, wonderful. Here's Barajas, fly to center, fly to right, walk. Kind of a hitter who hits it in the air, liable to hit it out. So Lindblom has to be very careful. Lindstrom starts with ball 1. Just looking it up, Lindstrom in 45 innings has allowed only 2 home runs. Rex Brothers, a left-hander down in the pen. Trent Olson, left-hand batter on deck. Ball 2. Rod hitting .240 with 14 home runs. Miles at second with an RBI double. 7-5 Colorado. 7th inning. Chopper foul. Barajas 2 for 2 in the past against Lindstrom. And a fly ball, shallow left. Seth Smith for the catch. The Barajas fly ball to left, and the batter now will be Trent Olson. So Lindstrom working on Olson, who has struck out twice, walked, scored a run. Rockies 7, Dodgers 5. Dodgers trying to come from behind and sweep Colorado. Dodgers have won 9 and the Rockies have won 8 of the previous 17 meetings. Miles at second base and Trent Olson at the plate. Strike. 0-1. On deck, Jamie Carroll. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Mike McDougal begins to warm up. One ball, one strike. We're in the 7th, 7-5 Colorado. Miles looking for a ride home. Ball 2. It's been Chacin, Reynolds, Belisle, and now Lindstrom. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Matt Latos, one of the fine young pitchers in the league. He'll be on the mound for the Padres, and Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. Clayton and Ted Lilly taking in the action. And ball 3. Tulo not bothering Miles, so he can take a pretty good lead. Herrera's out on the grass. He's out of any action as far as Miles. And that's going to go into right field for a base hit. Here comes Miles to the plate. He'll score. And it is 7-6 in favor of Colorado. Good day, Mike. So the Dodgers have Trent Olson, the tying run at first. And the batter will be Jamie Carroll. After Carroll would come Hung-Chi Kuo, and Aaron Miles brings it in. Jamie has struck out, single to left, and walked. So the Rockies, who scored 5 in the first inning, are now being challenged 7-6. Fastball strike. Last couple of innings, the Rockies pitchers have not been getting ahead of the hitter. Dodgers have received 4 walks in the last inning and 2/3. 0-1. That's a strike. Jamie looking at Tim Wallach. 0-2 with 2 down. There goes the possible tying run, and the pitch gets away at the plate. So Olson steals second. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Trent Olson, he is 4 for 4 in stolen bases. No way Alfonso could have handled that pitch in the dirt. So Olchin knocks in one and now represents the tying run. Juan Rivera comes out on deck for the Dodgers, and Carroll up there 1-2. Little ground ball to the hole. Herrera goes back to get it and makes the play. So Carroll grounds out, but the Dodgers get a little closer, pick up 2, and the Rockies lead by 1. As we go to the 8th inning, Jerry Lane is back behind home plate. Went out to get some more ice. Not quite a party behind the plate, but bless him, Jerry is trying to stay cool with that cool pack. So far, so good. For the Dodgers, Mike McDougald will take over. Trey Hillman and Don Mattingly can go to the water if necessary, and it's pretty important. McDougald getting ready. Wigginton, Kuzminoff, and Alfonso. You certainly figure games to a little bit longer than usual. The boys moving a little slower because of the heat. They had a 5-hour and 7-minute game last Saturday in Denver. Yesterday's game, Saturday afternoon, 4 hours and 39 minutes. So this one's racing along. We're in the 8th inning, just coming up 3 hours. Ty Wigginton walked, popped up, and lined out. I mean, he hit a BB in the 5th inning right into Tony Gwynn's glove. It's been Eovaldi, Hawksworth, Quo, and McDougald. Ball 1. And ball 2. Hung-Chi Kuo worked the 7th, gave up a base hit, and then got Tulowitzki to hit into the double play. That's popped up. Jamie Carroll going out. Olchin coming in with Kemp. It will be Kemp. So Matt takes charge on the fly ball, landing amidst 3, and he was there to catch it. So he joined the Dodgers September 13th at 7:10. They'll face the Diamondbacks. Fans receive a throwback fleece blanket honoring their days in Brooklyn at Ebbets Field. Compliments of Pizza Hut. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Kevin Kuzminov, double to right, struck out, single to left. Ground ball to Sellers. 2 down. And the batter will be Eliezer Alfonso. Alfonso single to right to drive in a run in the first inning. Lined out to Loney and flied to right. Hitting back of Alfonso, if given the opportunity, Mark Ellis, who will be batting for Lindstrom. Ball 1. Ellis normally a starter at second base. Rocky scored 5 in the first and 2 in the fifth. It looked like they had a walk in the park leading 7-2, but the Dodgers have hung in to make it 7-6. It's been Evaldi, Hawksworth, Quo, and now McDougald, and for Jim Tracy, Chacin, Reynolds, Belisle, Lindstrom, and more if given the opportunity. 2-0. High chopper to Miles. Okay, 1, 2, 3 in the 8th, and we're heading for the bottom of the 8th. The pitcher spot due up, and we'll be back. In a ball game that was all tied up, and Matt, as he has done so often this year, for the 3rd time this year and the 6th time in his career, hit a breaking ball up and out, and the Dodgers walked away with the win after Loney had tied it up with a home run. Well, for the Dodgers, in the bottom of the 8th inning today, Matt Kemp can rest for the moment. He had a walk, stolen base, and scored a run in the 7th inning. And the way the Dodgers hit, Casey Blake will bat for McDougald, then Gwynn and Sellers, and Matt Kemp hitting 3rd in the lineup could be called upon again. Left-hander Rex Brothers comes out of the bullpen. He is the 5th Colorado pitcher. Rex with a record of 1-2 and coming in to start the inning. Rex Brothers at a Shelbyville High School in Tennessee. He'll be 24 a week before Christmas. and originally signed by the Rockies as a #1 pick 2 years ago. Casey, ball one. Casey, who has had the bad neck plaguing him all year, hitting .254. As a pinch hitter, he is 1 for 9 with 3 runs batted in. That's a strike. 1-1. Casey, 9 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs. Casey, like Todd Helton, 38 years old. 1-1. That missed, ball 2, 2-1. Check swing, but it's a strike. 2-2 the count to Casey Blake. Rex brothers have made the rounds of all the baseball camps in the state. Carroll at Tennessee. Went to Vanderbilt, Middle Tennessee State, finally wound up at Lipscomb. Pitched in the Cape Cod League. That's a big deal for college players back east. Fouled away. They think highly of brothers. Got a very big contract. Rapidly going from Asheville to Tri-City, Tulsa, Modesto, this year Colorado Springs, and into the big leagues. Fastball, slider, and change. And fastball takes care of Blake. So Brothers picks up a K. 1 away here in the 8th inning. Duck in a couple of scores. The Diamondbacks knocked off the Padres 6-1. Ian Kennedy won his 17th. Colin Cowgill had 4 hits, including a home run. So Arizona has now won 6 in a row. They've won 75 games. They put the heat on the Giants, who are tied 3-3, bottom of the 10th inning with the Astros. Oh and 1. Tony Gwynn tripled to right, flied to left, singled on a tough play by Jonathan Herrera, and had a sacrifice fly in the 6th inning. In that Astros-Giants game, in the bottom of the 10th inning, Mark DeRosa got a double to tie it up. So they're still struggling up north. 0-1. Sliced foul, 0-2. Brothers was certainly a starter when he was in college. He did have kind of a head jerk when they first signed him, but they've gotten rid of that. He reminds some of the minor league pitching coaches of a young Billy Wagner. Ball 1. Left-hand batters are hitting .213 against Brothers. Little bouncer to Herrera. He has to make the play and does. Very nice play by Jonathan Herrera, especially against somebody who runs as well as Tony Gwynn. So 2 out, and Justin Sellers coming up. Here's the pick, the backhand flip just ahead of the arrival of Gwynn. So 2 out in the 8th inning. Herrera makes a good play, and here's Sellers. Justin Sellers single to drive in Gwynn in the 1st inning. doubled leading off the third and was chased home by Loney's double. And then the big play of the game. 2 on, 2 out. He hit a fly ball down the right field line. Could have easily been a double and 2 runs scored, except for Carlos Gonzalez. And that now turns out to be the big play and the difference. If Cargo doesn't make that catch the way things have worked out, it would be the Dodgers leading in the game. But here comes Cargo, and a rich Cargo it is. 1-0. 2-0 to Sellers. And of course for Justin, trying to get aboard, Matt Kemp waiting on deck. Kenley Jansen gets up in the Dodger bullpen along with Javi Guerra. By the way, if you wonder about Kemp on deck against left-handers, he's hitting .324 against left-handers. That's a strike. 2-1 to Sellers. In fact, coming into the game, to show you just how consistent Matt Kemp has been, he's hitting .323 against right-handers, .324 against left-handers. 24 home runs against right-handers. No, ball 3, so this is a very big pitch for Rex Brothers. Just to look ahead for the fun of it, Kemp 1-for-1 in the past against Rex Brothers. So Sellers with 2 out, trying to keep the inning alive. Three and 1. And 3-2. Brothers has walked 16 and struck out 42. Not quite 3-1, but close enough. Fastball grounded right at the bag. Kuzminoff makes the play. So the Dodgers go quietly. Close play at first. Matt Kemp will be leading off in the bottom of the 9th. And we're going to the top of the 9th. 7-6 Colorado. Rockies and the Dodgers pushing and shove. with the Rockies holding on to a 7-6 lead. Because of all the pitchers, Kenley Jansen will be the 10th pitcher to come to the mound today and the 5th pitcher coming out of the Dodger bullpen. And with all the wear and tear out there, they need a little work. For the Rockies, they scored 5 in the first inning. A pop fly double by Kevin Kuzminoff with the bases loaded gave them the big 5. However, the Dodgers found themselves down 7-2 going into the 6th inning. And they scored 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and they've gotten to winning 7-6. So they apparently have fixed the mound, and Kenley Jansen will loosen up, getting ready to face Eric Young, who'll be batting for Rex Brothers, then Dexter Fowler and Jonathan Herrera. Houston Street normally is somebody that you would look to as far as closing a game. Street has 29 saves. We'll take a look down to the Colorado bullpen to see if Street is ready to work yet again. Meanwhile, Kenley Jansen, who knows all about the DL, has come back and now asked to pitch. Down in the pen, it would not be Street, who was on the DL and is, I'm sure, being carefully taken care of these days. And big Rafael Betancourt will be asked. He has 3 saves, and they will ask Rafael to pitch the 9th inning. So here is Eric Young, certainly a threat to bunt. Miles on the edge of the grass. Loney up almost even with the bag. Foul back, 0-1 the count. Rod Barajas took the brunt of that foul. No balls and 1 strike. Eric Young hitting .229. Barajas okay. Young as a left-hand batter, however, hitting only .203. 0-2. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th, Matt Kemp, James Loney, and Aaron Miles. 1-2, Kenley Jansen. Big boy out of Curaçao in the Netherlands Antilles. 6'6" and at least 240. 2-2. Jansen with a record of 1-1. He has only worked 38 innings. Strikeout to walks almost 3-1. Two and two. And Eric Young overpowered by that high fastball, and down he goes. So 1 away in the 9th inning. The leadoff man Dexter Fowler coming up. Fowler has walked, flied to left, doubled, and struck out. When he walked in the first inning, he promptly stole second and came home on a 2-out single by Troy Tulowitzki. Since the 5th inning, when Colorado scored 2 to account for their 7, they've had just 1 hit. The hit was by Gonzalez, followed by Tulowitzki hitting into a double play. So the Dodgers have gotten good relief. After Hawksworth struggled, he then settled down. Quo worked an inning, McDougal won, and now Big Jansen. Ninth inning, 7-6, Colorado. 1 out. Fowler with 9 stolen bases, and hitting back of him, Jonathan Herrera. Well, the Giants are struggling again. For the third time today, the Astros have taken the lead. So they're in the bottom of the 11th inning. Astros 4, Giants 3. And remember, San Diego bowed to Arizona. So the D-backs could increase their lead to 4. Barajas, that must be another tough part of catching in the heat, etc. Each catcher, Alfonso and Barajas, handling 5 pitchers. Herrera struck out, fly to left, grounded to short, fly to center. They have to watch on Fowler. Strike. Fowler is a break-even base stealer. He has stolen 9, but he has also been caught 9 times. And in this kind of a game with 1 out, they had best keep an eye on him, especially with Gonzalez on deck. And a drag bunt in the air. They get the double play. Jonathan Herrera trying to drag a bunt, instead hit a soft line drive, and it's a double play. And here comes Kemp, Loney, and Miles. Bottom of the 9th. It'll be Matt Kemp, James Loney, Aaron Miles against the right-hander Rafael Betancourt. We have a moment to duck in a final score. The Astros beat the Giants in 11 innings, 4-3. Arizona having already won, so the D-backs enjoy a 4-game lead over San Francisco. Interesting note about the pitching today for Colorado. Ulysses Chassin in 5 innings had 3 3-ball counts, and then he got pretty weary in the 6th. The relievers in 3 innings have had 7 3-ball counts. So Betancourt will come in and try to throw strikes and get ahead, and Matt Kemp will be the first to face him. Matt Kemp is just 1-for-7 against Betancourt. That would be a 143 batting average. James Loney is 2-for-5 against him, 400 batting average. Aaron Miles is 0-for-4. And if you're thinking about Juan Rivera appearing as a pinch hitter, Rivera is 1-for-6 against Betancourt. So here we go. Matt Kemp struck out twice, flied to center, walked, stole a base, scored a run. 9th inning, 7-6 Rockies. fouled away. Houston Street, you would expect you would see normally, but of course Street worked yesterday, picked up a hold since coming from the DL, so it's up to Betancourt, a very, very deliberate pitcher. He is not in any hurry to make any pitch. Oh, and 2 to Matt. In looking at Betancourt's numbers, he has walked only 8, and he has struck out 62. And lifted foul off to the right, out of play. Betancourt, since the 7th of July, has 30 strikeouts in 19 innings. The opposition is hitting 109 against him. With Loney on deck, left-handers are 2 for the last 17 against him. And righties, since first week in July, are hitting .070. 0-2. Off the plate. 1-2 the count. Rafael Betancourt, he is also from Venezuela, 6'2", 200, 36 years old. Originally signed as an infielder by the Red Sox. 2-2. As Betancourt says, like thousands of kids growing up in Venezuela, our hero was Omar Vizquel, and everybody wanted to play shortstop. Red Sox let him play shortstop and finally decided to convert him. And lifted, going back is Tulowitzki, off to his left, kind of surrounding that fly ball, and makes the play. Yeah, that ball was really dancing up there. 1 away. Now James Loney. Tulowitzki talking to Dexter Fowler and also to Seth Smith about the action on that pop fly. Loney grounded out to second, doubled to drive in a run, grounded out and popped up. Betancourt has a rather amazing set of numbers. I'll tell you in a moment. Ball 1. He has only walked 8. And would you believe he has allowed 7 home runs? As usually happens to pitchers who throw strikes who are on the plate all the time. 7 home runs in 53 innings. That's a strike. James against his favorite club, Colorado. Biggest day he has had in his entire career against Colorado. 1-1. cracked bat, little twister, foul, no play. Loney, I think, cracked it. It sounded like it up here. And watching Loney come back, I think, yep. He didn't break it, but you could hear the twang. And but Kuzmanov just missing it. Boy, Kevin certainly gives it his all. That close. Talk about getting your face in the dirt. 1-2 the count to Loney. On deck, Aaron Miles. Betancourt has been devouring left-hand batters, as we told you. The last 17 left-handers have 2 hits against him. One and two. And another left-hander bites the dust. So the Dodgers are down to their last out, and the batter will be Aaron Miles. Andre Ethier comes out on deck. So we started the program talking about Andre Ethier, reading quotes from Don Mattingly about a column by T.J. Simers. Well, maybe we'll end the story today with Ethier. We'll see. It's up to Miles. Foul back. Miles walked, grounded out twice, and doubled. Aaron Miles against Betancourt is 0 for 4. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Matt Latos and the Padres, and the Dodgers counter with Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw with a record of 16-5. He'll be trying to win number 17 tomorrow night. 0-1 to Aaron. And a fly ball going back to left is Smith to get it, and that's that. Betancourt retires the Dodgers in order, and the Rockies salvage a game in the series, and the Dodgers and the Rockies wind up splitting their 18 meetings, each win 9, and it was Carlos Gonzalez diving catch of the ball hit by Sellers in the 4th inning that really was a game saver for Colorado. So the Rockies beat the Dodgers 7-6. Tomorrow night, San Diego with Kershaw in pursuit of number 17. A reminder, stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good afternoon, everybody.